I think that's a little bit where the future's headed with coaching. For example, I'm working with a guy right now. His name's Matt Miller out in Alabama. And we're talking on how do we have these conversations with athletes about helping them along the way. There's a system that we're working on. It's called motivational interviewing. A lot of people use it in different ways. We're trying to tailor it into the coaching world, but it really ties into, you know what, maybe I can actually teach you how to care for others. Maybe there's a way that you can learn how to be with people differently than you were before. I certainly feel, as I started as a trainer and where I am now, that's my biggest growth edge still, is how do I actually still show up for that person? Because I am very I feel I'm pretty confident at this point. I'm pretty technically savvy in the sense of coaching. I have so much experience. I've seen so many athletes. I've studied so much material that my knowledge base on external rotation, internal this, blah, 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 extension, all of that stuff is second nature. Somebody coming in and needing to help them change their lives, because what we are, I think, at our core as CrossFit coaches is we are a transformational experience for people, right? You show up at my gym and you are one, that's you. By the time you're with me for a while, you are transformed into something different. You are a different person. I think all of us have done CrossFit. We're like, man, before that, at least for me, it transformed me. I'm a different human being because of my experience with CrossFit. It's not a transaction. It's not $20 for a 1 hour class. That's not what we're doing here at CrossFit. And so I think that the continuation of professionalizing the coach is where we're headed, which is how do we have these deep and hard conversations on behavior change? How do we deal with people that are addicted to sugar or alcohol or stuck in a rut that they can't fix? And our profession, and I think the novice and even myself over the years is, like I said, I know a lot, and I see you come in and I'm like, I got the answer. If I tell you that, you're going to rebuff me, and right, there's going to be some issues there. And so how do I show up and be with a human being can be taught. I don't think it's in the space yet. I don't think that I think that's where I'm hoping kind of some of this metabolic radar and some of the MetFix Academy stuff that we're working on is how do we continue to drive forward this evolution of CrossFit? Because people have asked me, since I left seminar staff, like, so why did you leave CrossFit? I'm like, leave? I am CrossFit. Where am I going? No, absolutely not. And so especially, the MetFix team, the MetFix Academy, we are 100% committed to preserving everything that we have found to be true about CrossFit, but we want to continue to evolve it, right? I don't think Greg had ever finished. And I think that that's our opportunities to move forward is like, okay, so how do we continue to professionalize the trainer? Can we teach? Yeah. Can we go to the next level? And I think that's kind of where we're at, to be honest.
Interesting. Now, that also is a good transition to see, okay, like, what about the future? Because you touched on this actually at the very beginning before, I would say, like, behind the scenes, you were like, okay, like, the past is good, but like, you're almost excited about the future. So that's one little piece about the future. Now, it might be a big, like, question, but like, you mentioned you see this in the future. So that's a project that you're working on at the moment. So for you, what are the things you're seeing for the future that makes you so excited?
Yeah, and to be like to be complementary to that is like we have introduced some things together, but you were a seminar star in 2025. You began to work with METFIX, METFIX, METFIX last year, I think. You've become some seminar staff over there, and you've became METFIX affiliate. Can you just to grab your question is about maybe more about maybe explain the mission of METFIX? What is METFIX? What's the part of Glassman inside that, and why have you done that? Yeah.
Good question. Yeah.
I want to preface all this with a little bit of like, I feel crazy lucky to be part of both CrossFit and the MetFix puzzle. And for both of them, I think the way Greg maybe started it or whatever is that I've never been a day-to-day operations guy, right? I've always just been a hired gun. You're a coach, Hollis. And so when I joined the MetFix team, it was to help develop the seminar, right? The foundation seminar. It wasn't to run the business or to direct it or anything like that. So I just want to preface it there. But that being said, is I think that I'll try to say it as quick as I can, or not as quick, but as clean as I can, is for me, and the way I think the MetFix Academy and what MetFix is positioned to do is that MetFix really stands for the metabolic fix. And so again, we do that whole Greg thing of like, all right, well, what's the question? What's the question? What's the term? Well, the metabolic fix for what would be the next question for me. And that is that MetFix is there because we see the chronic disease epidemic is here. It's there. It's in my gym. It's in your gym. Everybody's coming in with at least one, at least in the US, one or more chronic diseases. And so it's already here. And so MetFix is the fix to this chronic disease epidemic. And so where MetFix really sits is it really fills a gap that's missing out there on how do we continue to evolve the CrossFit program into the metabolic space, right? The team that Emily was able to put together, crazy inspirational. Like when I showed up and I saw who she had gathered, you know, some of the greatest CrossFit alum around, you know, a couple of us left CrossFit for MetFix. Some of us had already gone. The scientists that she brought around, right? Siegfried's team from Boston, to name just one, but the, you know, Jamie Simon, anyway, that we just did what was it? A retreat out in Miami, right? The MetFix retreat. And that group of people that Emily got together reminded me so much of the early days, right? And what I mean by that is the early days were filled with curiosity and questions. What can we do? What is the truth? How do we find it? Right? Knowing that we can't be certain, but we're going to keep asking the questions. And so that weekend and the entirety, like the whole staff at MetFix, feels like that a rebirth of that same kind of thinking, which is let's ask these better questions. Let's not be dogmatic. Let's throw away some of the, you know, internet guru BS and let's find out what's really happening. And so the scientists that have come around, some of the research that's happening, the wearables that are coming, the tech that's coming, the AI that's coming, all of that integrating with the human connection of how do we dose, is what I think the MetFix opportunity is, right? So MetFix, kind of like again, I'm not day-to-day, so I don't want to speak for the whole company, but for me, it really sits in the space of like where it's like, I'm not deviating out of CrossFit in any way, shape, or form when I go to MetFix. I'm 100% part of the CrossFit thing. And now I have this specialty in this metabolic space, right? So I'm going to do the same workouts. I'm going to do the same methodology. There's nothing changed, right? We didn't reinvent the wheel at MetFix at all. It's the same. It's like, yes, okay, that's the foundation, but and I'll be specific by that. So what I've noticed in my gym is somebody comes in and they're like, oh, hey, coach, what's up? And then we start talking to them, how you been? Oh, I just got back from the doc. They gave me some lisinopril because of my hypertension. Okay. And if that instantaneously isn't, okay, I got it. I know what hypertension is. I know what that drug is. I know and then I can ask some questions. So I'm like, oh, okay. And find out what else they may be doing or how can I help them? Like, if I don't have that knowledge base, I'm just in the weeds. It's kind of like somebody coming in and be like, hey, my back hurts. And I watch them deadlift with a rounded back and I don't know. So the MetFix Academy is really on the forefront of professionalizing the trainer and filling that void that is there already, right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, being a MetFix affiliate and a CrossFit affiliate is really
Complementary.
brand loyalty in the sense of I'm highly committed to the CrossFit methodology and Greg's work. And I think that MetFix is that continuation. And it is the opportunity to hold all of that beautiful CrossFit knowledge and continue to build and evolve on it. I think that kind of like when Greg said, hey, go be successful, Hollis, I'm taking that to heart now and being like, okay, well, how can I continue to expound on and improve on Greg's work? For example, his Fit Well Sick continuum, if you guys are familiar with that, or the community, I think that was a profound piece that was never fully realized. It was like a theoretical thought. Hey, we think that you're building this hedge and we think that it's going in this direction. And so for me, the metabolics is there, that we need to start tracking that stuff. And that's one of the reasons I created the metabolic radar, is to operationalize and make a visual representation to start defining terms around metabolic health. Because I think we have the same question Greg had with what is fitness and who has it. I think in 2026, the question is, what is metabolic health and who has it?
Yeah.
And that's why I think that's where I sit with it all.
And that's what I'm thinking is the future of CrossFit, because like we've heard a lot of old guys, or maybe guys who are like in the early CrossFit, or maybe in the apogee, or maybe in the explosion worldwide, what I'm talking about the early years, that between like 2014 to 2019. And at that time they said all the time, at that time you just post that you are a CrossFit gym and people are coming, and you don't need to make advertisement, and you don't need to make anything, and it's all about referrals and etc. Right now, that's not the way anymore. Like, there is a momentum, of course, when you open the gym, and then after you need to be, and that's why I always say, and I've said that in the previous podcast, is that comment on dit contrainte, constraint?
Constraints, yeah.
Constraints brings innovation. And so constraints bring innovation is the way that, yeah, it was good at that time, because like people were going inside the gym, there is no ads anymore, or maybe an ads, and you keep put €5 and you have hundreds of leads, etc., etc. You have hundreds of people, and referral were magic. And at that time, right now, that's not different. So that push you to be better. And when I push you to be better, you need to be better in marketing. You need to be better in selling. You need to be better at creating offers. You need to be better at everything. And most of the time when you're creating offers right now, if you want to be able to ask for more money, you need to put add-ons. And what's about the add-ons is like, yeah, training is important. So CrossFit training. And then after you put some nutrition, and then after you put some mindset, after you put some accountability, and you put some markers. And so that pushes you to be better at that. So you need to be like holistic in your approach. And Martial, if you listen to me, it's one of our other members. He was like, I was joking about, like, because I was always talking about holistic part. And so, yeah, that's an holistic and holistic, like that's your name. And so that pushes you to be better at all the aspects of that. And then after, you can ask for more money, and you're going to be successful. And that's why being holistic has two major parts. As you said, being a better coach and being a better entrepreneur, business owner, CrossFit gym owner. And so that's why I try to speak about guys, because like a lot of gym owner just want to be on the part of CrossFit, like coaching. And that's good. I think that's good. We need always that. But the needs of people are changing. Like there is a I don't know the effect, but it's like, we think right now, the guys who created the internet at that time, Vince Vaughn and other guys, they said, yeah, you got to have access to a ton of information, more than ever, and you are going to be clever. No, we are lost right now in different noise, different methodology, different things, and having like the right path through that. The needs of people are more than ever right now. And so, as you said, you don't want to be a duck. You don't want to be to spend a PhD on to take 10 years in universities, but you can have access to that information and that science through CrossFit methodology and kind of MedFix methodology, or metabolic radar, as you said. And Of course, you're not replacing doctors and you're not replacing other stuffs, but as a coach, you need to be aware of all the different aspects to do that, to be a better coach on the floor and a better gym owner. And that's why I talk to some guys and say, yeah, but I don't want to introduce some offers about different things. Okay, man. Okay, you're going to stand some couple of times, but I think the future is bridge the gap between professional, healthcare professional and affiliate.
Yeah, absolutely right. One of the things that came up in me as you were talking there, I wonder if this kind of sisters into what you're talking about, but one of the things in the early days that Greg did as a philosophy, and I think maybe not everybody has held on to in the sense of business, is this least rents idea, right? I feel like so much now it's like sales this, extract money